So, hello there and welcome back to the channel. This is Mels Gaming here with another The Hunter Classic video. Now, it's been a little while since my last The Hunter Classic video, and honestly, I've been sat on these few trophy clips that we're going to go over in this video for a few weeks at this point, but just with everything that's been going on in my life, if you've seen my community posts, you'll know it's been really chaotic. I just have not had chance to actually get and put these into a video, but there are some animals in this video that I am really excited about. Some really cool things happen, so very excited to finally get these clips into a video. So we're starting off with a Piebald Roosevelt elk cow that actually came into my setup at the Golden Tree stand. I was actually sat here more hoping for rare turkeys, but the Piebald Roosevelt elk are absolutely gorgeous. Now, at this point, I have shot a few of them. They've all been female, unfortunately. I really would love to get a Piebald bull for the trophy lodge, but I mean, they're just so gorgeous. I really love their Piebald pattern, so definitely a cool thing to see walking in. And sticking with the theme here of piebald females, over on Hirschfelden, I ended up spotting this piebald female red deer. Now, we are going to drop her with my 3006 Stutson, the Mel version of this gun, which is basically now my #1 go-to gun in the game, of course, it being my own personal designed gun. And as you will see, it absolutely floored her there, right in front of us. That was so cool. I wanted to just see how close she would actually get and how sort of quick I could pull off a shot. And the Stutson just did its job perfectly. I absolutely love that gun for so many reasons. Like I said, because it's my gun, my actual in-game gun, and it's just a fantastic round. Does such a good job. And then you can see Rarity Piebald. Again, I really love the look of the Piebald female red deer, actually. The Piebald female red deer in Classic, I think, are my preferred variant, because the Piebald males, I don't know, they're just not quite as standoutish as the females. The females have this sort of fully white face that really stands out. Now, moving over to Timbergold Trails, where, of course, I have been hunting for non-typical mule deer, still in search of a 300+ non-tip. And I spotted this mule deer doe that I was 100% sure, after getting a good look at it, that it was a melanistic. Now, I have never had a melanistic mule deer, so this was a completely new rare. Now, this was a bit of an awkward spot, and I was trying to back up here onto basically as flat of a bit of a ground as possible, because I knew that this was going to be a really tricky spot to actually try and get a trophy shot. And I am going to tax it, even though it is a doe, just because I've never had any other melanistic mule deer, and this was really cool. Like, as soon as I saw her, I thought something was different, got the scope out, and then could see no white on this deer at all, and that was so exciting, getting to see my first ever melanistic. And once again, 3006 Stutson Mel's version did a fantastic job of dropping her on the spot, and I really love the contrast of the gun in this trophy shot. I love this gun so much. I say it every time, but the devs did such a fantastic job with the idea that I sent them, like the actual design that I drew, so I just absolutely love getting to use that gun. Now, moving over to White Hart Island once again, and I was sat at this particular stand again for turkeys, but ended up with a lot of elk, a lot of blacktail, and a few coyotes. Now, I hadn't even called for coyotes, and this really large male coyote comes walking past. I just take a shot at it, thinking, okay, get a bonus harvest, and he's my biggest coyote by a mile. 58.5856. I've never had a coyote anywhere close to that big. Now, I know the Holy Grail is like 59+, but that for me is a seriously massive coyote. I've never had anything remotely decent for these guys other than rares. So this was a really exciting sort of bonus trophy and a brand new setup for me. Like I said, was here for turkeys, and I got quite a few turkeys, but I wasn't expecting this coyote to come in. Like I said, without even being called, he just wandered past, and I just took that shot, kind of thinking I'll hit it and then maybe track it down once I've actually, you know, been sat in this stand for a while. So that was really, really lucky. I'm so happy that that worked out the way it did. Now, moving over to Hirschfelden again, and we are training the pointer once again. Once again, trying to get him to level 34, because at level 34, the pointers can actually point for felines and deer. And I've had this idea in my head of taking a pointer to go and hunt pumas over on Timbergold. Think it could be quite a fun thing to try and do. And whilst out here training the dog, we came across a very large male pheasant. Now, this guy scores 28.6930. Now, you obviously, for pheasants, the holy grail, if you know about pheasant hunting, is 29 plus. But that is my personal best pheasant, which I'm really happy with. Honestly, I would love to get a 29 plus. Like I said, it is kind of the holy grail for pheasant trophies, other than, of course, the rares. But that, for me, that's fantastic. To upgrade a new personal best, that's going to go straight to the trophy lodge, and that's going to be brilliant. And it was just nice to get a personal best while out here just training this pointer up. And I was, you know, I knew at this point that we were getting quite close to level 34 with this guy, which, if you know anything about training the dogs in Classic, it can be a grind. Level 34 can take forever to get to. And I knew we were getting close, so I decided to keep hunting pheasants. And as I ran into one field, from somewhere, I don't even know where, a female pheasant came flying into the field I was in, and just stood still, and I looked at it and I was like, that is no common pheasant. That is a jet black female pheasant. And obviously, normally hen pheasants are like a light brown colour, so it stuck out like a sore thumb. This is a melanistic hen pheasant, which is wild. I've only ever had one other rare pheasant in the Hunter Classic, and it was a melanistic male. Now, I get arrow to point to this rare female, and we reach level 34. I mean, how cool is that to actually reach the level I have been grinding for at this point, years on and off, to try and get this dog to that level, and he finally reaches level 34 by pointing at a melanistic hen pheasant. That is so, so cool. And the rare pheasants in Classic, whether it's the males or the females, they are so, so rare. So, so rare. And I just couldn't believe that I had found another rare pheasant, and it was another melanistic. And my first thought was, this is going to be fantastic. I can have the melanistic male and the melanistic female side by side in the lodge. Because the melanistic males, they obviously have the different plumage. They're that sort of bottle green colour, really shiny, gorgeous colour feathers. Whereas the females are this sort of charcoaly black colour. So they really are quite different while still being the same rarity, which I thought was actually really, really cool. And I absolutely love how they look side by side in the trophy lodge. Now, moving over to Rougarou Bayou for the next few clips, and I've been doing some duck hunting. Once again, specifically looking for rares, really, to try and fill up some plaques in that Texas Trophy Lodge, because if you know me and you've seen any videos on the channel, rares are the thing that I love the most. They're just always really cool to see. But I also didn't have a really big northern pintail, and I ended up shooting this guy. 1.4 kg, that's the max, and he scores 1354.6955. Now, at the time when I shot this was really high on the leaderboards. I'm not sure where it would be now, but when I shot this guy, he was really up there, and I was so stoked. When this bird came flying in, amongst the other birds that he was with, I thought he looked particularly big, which is why I kept an eye on him to see where he landed, and then as soon as he landed, just popped him with the 17 HMR, which that's kind of been my go-to way of actually hunting the ducks, because it means that I can let the flocks land, spot them, ascertain if there's anything big, rare, and if there isn't anything big or rare, then I'll just take the biggest duck out of the flock and move on and wait for more ducks to come in. I'm not fussed about them actually getting on the leaderboard, you know, because they actually have to be shot in the air and get the airborne mark to actually go on the leaderboard. So I'm really not fussed about that, just to try and get some rares and some, you know, good-sized ducks for the lodge. So this has been a really effective method for me so far in terms of the amount of ducks I've been able to see and actually getting some really nice harvests out of it. And speaking of nice harvests from using this method, we actually do have a rare here. Now, this is a black hybrid female mallard, which is the only rare duck that I have ever had in the Hunter Classic. I have had precisely one female black hybrid mallard ever, and that's it. That's all I've had for rare ducks. So we have another one to go into the Texas Trophy Lodge to fill another one of those bird plaques, but I really want to get some of the other rares that exist for the duck species in this game. There's some cool hybrids, there's a couple of cool albinos, some really, really cool things that would look great in that trophy lodge and would upgrade it even more. So this is definitely something I'm going to keep doing, and hopefully we'll end up with some different rares. I would even really, really love to get a brown hybrid mallard, which the black hybrid and brown hybrid seem to be sort of a couple of the more common rares, if that makes sense, but would love to actually get a brown hybrid one to go in the trophy lodge as well. Now finally, we're back on Hirschfelden, where I decided it was high time for a bit of Canada Goose hunting. Once again, in search of rares. I have a really nice size trophy Canada Goose in the lodge, but again, it's rares that are always the thing that get me really, really excited. And as you can see, this is no common Canada Goose. As soon as this goose came and landed in this field, I knew exactly what I was looking at, and you can see how excited I was by how fast I was doing everything. This goose came in and landed as the first flock of the hunt, and it's a bold leucistic, which in my opinion is the coolest of all of the Canada Goose rares. Like, they stand out so much because they don't have that solid classic black neck. They have like that patchy look to it, and then they've got sort of the brown body feathers and the greyish wing feathers. They look so different to a common Canada Goose, and that's why I absolutely love this particular rare. There's a couple of other really nice rares for the Canada Geese, but this one stands out the absolute most and was an absolute dream for me to get. And I've tried so hard to get a rare Canada Goose so many times. Every time I hunt Hirschfelden, I come over to my setup at the end of the hunt, see what's landed and hope that there's a rare. And there never has been. And, you know, specific hunts for Canada Geese rares, never had anything. And then first flock of this hunt, my absolute dream rare comes in. Just the coolest thing. Sent that straight to the trophy lodge, and it looks great in my Texas trophy lodge. That fills a spot that really, you know, it needed something cool, and now that's there, and I am super happy with that. Like I said, there's still some things I'd really like to get. 300 plus non-typical mule deer, rare turkeys, and more rare ducks and stuff to go on those plaques. So there's still a lot to do to try and get that lodge up to where I'd really like it to be. But the more that we get harvests like this, you know, it's all starting to come together. Since we got like the really massive non-typical whitetail as well not that long ago, and my biggest mule deer typical, you know, they're starting to get some really, really nice trophies into that Texas lodge, and I am absolutely loving seeing it all come together. But that is going to be it for this video. Like I said, this video should have been out a while ago, but just everything has been chaos. For all of you that have been sending me well wishes, thank you so very much. Glad to say, much happier now for a few different reasons, but I'm in a much better place, and I'm really happy. Back on the hunt. I've been, you know, going out trying to get more trophies for the different games, so hoping that maybe videos will be a little bit more frequent again, hopefully, at some point in the future. Still got to move house and all of those things, so that'll disrupt stuff, but I really, 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 really appreciate all of your support, your kindness, your patience. You guys are absolutely amazing. So I really, really hope you have enjoyed this video. Thank you so, so very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.